what is happening now in the Middle East, no, is a picture of what may also happen to the Philippines, no? Because many of the Arab countries, especially the Arab countries surrounding Iran, which is now the enemy of the United States and Israel in their current war, many of these Arab countries thought that by hosting U.S. military facilities and other American forces, in fact, in Qatar, Qatar is the headquarters of the U.S. Central Command. This U.S. Central Command is the headquarters of the American forces that are operating in the entire Middle East. No? So dito sa atin, Philippines, we are part of the U.S. forces here are part of the Indo-Pacific Command, no, which used to be the Pacific Command, and their headquarters is in Hawaii. In the Middle East, it is in Qatar. And as you can see, during the first few days of the war, Qatar and some of these, especially Qatar, because it's the headquarters of the U.S. Central Command, they were the targets of Iranian missiles and drones, no? Not because Qatar was an enemy of Iran, but more because the country, Qatar, was allowing its territory as a springboard and launching pad for these missiles, U.S. missiles, that were hitting Iranian cities, especially Tehran, the capital. Now, let me point out that the kind of facilities that are targets of Iran right now in several Middle Eastern countries surrounding Iran, they are not necessarily the sites where there are missiles or drones that Iran and even Israel is using. Many of these U.S. facilities are what we call the C3I facilities. Yung C, command control communication, tapos yung I, intelligence, no? Yung kapag C3I facility ka, these are facilities that are the eyes, ears, and even the brain of the U.S. military. So they assure the accuracy of their targets, no? Kasi naka-hook up ito sa mga satellites ng U.S. that are above the Middle East, and they assure the accurate pinpoint targets within Iran. That's why logically Iran would counter-attack by hitting those targets para yung eyes, ears, and brain of those missiles and drones that are targeting their own country. Remember, Iran is a 3,000-year-old civilization, no? Compared to the US, ang US halos 250 years old lang ang US mula nung maging independent sila at maging bansa. But Iran, in its 3,000-year-old history and civilization, has had a long history of warfare against other empires, no? In the ancient world, no, from the ancient world up to the present. And let me just emphasize that I think the gravest mistake that President Trump made was to kill and assassinate the supreme leader of Iran, si Khamenei. Talagang dahil natukoy nila kung saan siya nagtatago o nag-ooperate, pinuruhan talaga. But that was a grievous mistake because Khamenei happens to be the supreme leader not just of the Shia Muslims in Iran, but he is also the leader of almost 500 million Shia Muslims all over the world. Ngayon yung supreme leader ng Iran at diyan sa Iran na base, no? Siya yung religious leader ng halos kalahating milyong Muslim all over the world, no? At tinira siya, no? So he was not just a political leader in Iran, but also the religious leader. That's why I don't want to raise alarm, but I will not be surprised that if in the near future, there will be a series of other 9/11s that will happen as a revenge for the killing of the supreme religious leader. I think the other thing here is that both Israel and the United States underestimated the capacity of the Iranian. I think the flaw din sa kanilang intelligence, no? That's why I was not surprised yesterday when I heard that the director of the US Counterintelligence Council, si Mr. Kent, no, resigned, no? Actually itong si Kent, siya yung number 2 sa US US National Intelligence Community. He's the number 2, no? Kasi itong intelligence community ng US composed of almost 13 ano yan iba-ibang separate intelligence agencies, but they're coordinated by the US intelligence community, in which Mr. Kent, who resigned yesterday, is the number 2. And I think that probably yung resignation niya was because yung warnings ng US intelligence community, especially coming from his office, were not seriously taken by President Trump. Kasi sige na sige si Trump eh. Tatandaan natin, kahit na nung first term niya, hindi siya nakikinig dun sa mga inputs ng US intelligence community, kaya nagkaroon ng away, no? And ito na naman, it could be very fatal because they underestimated the capacity of Iran, no? Kasi remember, in June 2025, without any provocation, and while the talks were going on the nuclear issue between Iran, Israel, and the US were still going on, umatake ang US at Israel, di ba? Inatake yung mga sinasabi nilang nuclear research sites ng Iran, no? And a few days after those attacks, President Trump announced na mission accomplished daw, no? Wipe out na yung lahat ng ng Iran, no? Yung mga missile sites, especially nuclear facilities. And by the way also, mula even before 2025, US and Israel have been focusing on killing generals of Iran, no? Kasi na-identify nila kung saan sila nakatira, saan yung mga opisina nila, at doon nila pinupuruhan ng missiles or drones. Marami na silang napatay na mga general, no, at mga leaders ng Iran, no? And this is why I think that Iran was able to come up with a very sophisticated strategy of countering the possibility of an all-out attack by the US and Israel. And yun nga, Iran now calls it a mosaic defense strategy, no? Ito yung isang forma ng tinatawag ng ilang defense specialists as asymmetric warfare, no? It's a form of guerrilla warfare as applied with using modern weapons, no? In a modern sense, no? Kasi makikita natin na dito sa mga nangyayari ngayon, despite the killings of many of its generals and the top hierarchy of its command structure, Iran is able to easily replace, no, its leaders and generals, no? Kasi ang ginawa nila, they decentralized their command structure, no? Lalo na yung military and defense command nila. Kaya bawat distrito nila is now capable of hitting back and sending drones and their own missiles towards Israel, especially Tel Aviv, the capital, and the US military bases, no? So doon na-underestimate ng US yung ganitong galaw ng Iran, at ganun din yung na-underestimate nila yung capacity of Iran to secure its missiles, no? Secure them so that they can be protected. And yun nga, ang ngayon, ang hindi ma-secure yung US military facilities in various parts of the Middle East, no? Kasi hindi sila handa. Akala nila tirahin mo lang yung head, no? You decapitate it, tapos na. No, pero ngayon tapos araw-araw nakakatirang Iran laban sa Israel, even in Tel Aviv, no? Tel Aviv has several layers of defense interceptors in the form of missiles which the US supplied, no? By the way, itong US supplied missiles and defense interceptors provided to Israel. Dito makikita yung paano integrated yung defense industry ngayon ng Israel at saka ng US. You see, for a long time, Israel has, especially the Israeli businessmen who are involved in the defense industry in Israel, they invested a lot of money in American corporations that are involved in arms manufacturing, no? Tapos ito namang ano sa US, kaya kapag nagpo-provide ang US ng almost over a little bit over 3 billion US dollars in military assistance to Israel every year, itong mga minamarket ng US companies, defense industry companies, yan ang kanilang pinoprovide at binebenta. But as shown in recent days, kasi magto 2 weeks na itong gera, hindi na intercept yung maraming mga dumarating na drones at missiles ng Iran into Israel. Now, what I'm very much worried about is the reaction of especially Israel that might trigger a far worse kind of war. Kasi kung hindi na nila na-intercept yung conventional drones at conventional missiles, ito kasing si Bibi ano kasi Netanyahu, mas siraulo ito compared kay Trump no? Pareho sila siraulo pero mas siraulo yan, no? At actually ang mission niya in life is to wipe out the Palestinian people so that they will never try to recover or struggle against the occupation of the Palestinian territory by Israel. Yun ang lifelong mission niya, no? In fact, pati yung kanyang political party oriented sa ganun no? So, that's what I'm very much afraid of because ngayon nakikita natin yung palitan lang ng conventional weapons pa lang yan ngayon part of the asymmetric strategy of Iran is to use economic warfare, no? Kasi alam niya pag apektado lalo na yung mga Americans diyan, no? They will be pleading to President Trump, no, to stop the war. Ang problema kasi si Trump nasobrahan yata ang yabang Akala niya dahil marami siyang mga aircraft carriers, no? They have 11 aircraft carriers, no? And they have they have so many weapon systems. Akala niya he can bully any country. Now, let me also emphasize that strategy of the United States of regime change, which it tried this time again against Iran. This is not the first time that they did this, no? Or they've done this, no? In the 1950s, yung Prime Minister ng Iran, si Mossadegh, no? Was Prime Minister just because he decided to nationalize the oil industry in Iran. The United States instigated a coup d'etat that overthrew him. In his place, nilagay nila yung isang monarch, yung Shah of Iran, who was very, very repressive and whose secret service was trained by the CIA. Eventually, itong si Mossadegh, si Shah of Iran, was overthrown by the Iranian people in a revolution in 1979 that installed a clerical leadership in Iran. And because of the Shah of Iran's repression, supported by the United States and Israel, yung mga Iranian people became very, very hostile towards the United States. And this has actually dictated the Iranian-US relations since 1979. So far, yun ang konting background na gusto kong ibigay, no? At sa din actually yung isa pang long history of US regime change strategies is sa Guatemala, no? Nung 1950s, no? Yung si Jacobo Arbenz, who was the president, a democratically elected president of Guatemala in South America, when he decided to nationalize yung United Fruit Company, no? Ito yung nag-aano sa mga plantations sa Guatemala. Nag-coup d'etat, no? Nag-instigate ng coup d'etat against him ang US at in-install nila ang isang military general, isang dictator who began a dictatorship that was also repressive, supported and trained by the United States, no? Hindi ito so itong nangyayari ditong sinusubukan ng US na regime change sa Iran. This is not the first time that this is happening. Marami ng beses pati nga sa Vietnam. they tried a regime change there, no? To install a puppet government that was pro-US and pro-Western. So ano muna yon yung preliminary remarks ko. Thank you.